Hi folks, my name is Ceylon from Karl Chevrolet. Today we're going to be going over a new 2020 Sonic RS. Today we're going to have a few really nice features around the vehicle, and we're going to go in depth to do a virtual delivery for you, so that way you can get the most amount of experience without having to come into the dealership. Alright, starting off on the door here, we're going to have a keyless entry system. What this button here allows us to do is have our key in our pocket, backpack, purse, doesn't matter. As long as it's within 3 feet of the door, we can walk up, press the button once, it'll unlock the door. A second press will do all 4 doors for you, which is a nice safety feature built in for the driver. Coming to the back here, we do have this nice little hatch design, which allows us to open up a little bit more conveniently and provides more space for the passengers in the back. Coming around to the rear here, we're going to have a nice hatch system, which allows us to again have more cargo space for the driver. Back here underneath this little panel, we're going to have a little extra storage space for you, which really helps out quite a bit, as well as we've got the floor mats in there as well. Across the top, we do have a privacy screen, so if you're hiding your presents or groceries from the hungry neighbors, you can absolutely keep those tucked in underneath there. On the back here, we're also going to have a rear view camera. It's always important that these stay clean so that they work functionally for you. It always helps to have a nice clean car. Alright folks, now we're on the inside of the vehicle, and we're going to be going through the driver's cockpit area. Starting off on the door here is you're going to have lock and lock. Down below that, you're going to have your mirror adjustment. This will allow us to select left or right mirror here and adjust the toggle to get those mirror adjustments just right for you. Down below that, you're going to have your window controls, and then of course you're going to have your child locks all the way at the back there. Coming into the inside of the vehicle, we're going to have some nice buttons down here. You do have an automatic set of headlights here for the vehicle. Fog lights if you push it right in the middle there. Just to the right of that, you're going to have the brightness adjustments for all the gauges, dials, and screens inside the vehicle once it goes into its dark mode. Starting off on the left-hand stock here, we're going to have this nice little button on the end, which allows us to set or clear statistics from the inside of the screen here. When we press it, we'll select something. When we press and hold it for 5 seconds, it'll wipe out a statistic, such as a trip. So if we go to trip 2, we hit and hold this for about 5 seconds. It'll give us a nice little beep indicating that it's been cleared. Here you're also going to have these 2 little arrows which allow us to toggle up and down through the different information columns here in the driver's display screen. If we press the menu button, it will toggle us between the trip and the vehicle tabs. The vehicle tabs are going to have important information about the vehicle, such as remaining oil life, tire pressures, and a few other little objects such as that. Moving on to the steering wheel here, we're going to have some very nice and convenient controls. Starting off on the left-hand side, you can have your standard cruise control, so it's on, set, resume, and then the cancels here on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you're going to have answer and decline for cell phone calls, the search button, which will allow us to go through the different radio stations, and then here you're going to have your volume for you. On the right-hand side, you're going to have your windshield wipers, as well as the back windshield wipers, which are on the end cap here, which will mirror whatever's happening in the front. Across the bottom here, you do have a nice flat bottom steering wheel, which will also give us a very sporty feel and appearance to the vehicle with a nice embroidered RS logo at the bottom. Alrighty folks, now we're in the inside of the vehicle. We're going to go through some of the screens here, as well as some of the push button features. Starting off with the push button start here, in order to put the vehicle into an accessory mode, we simply hit and hold the start stop button for about 10 seconds here. It'll immediately pull up that it wants us to put our foot on the brake, but we're not going to do so. Once on here, we're going to have everything running as if the motor were running. However, it's not going to be. We can still go through all the screens and view all the different features that are available on the vehicle. Once we're ready to start it up, we simply put our foot on the brake and then hit the start stop button here, which will fire up our motor. With this screen here, we're going to have some very easy to use icons. Starting off with our audio screen, which is where most customers will spend the majority of their time. Here we are going to have AM, FM, and Sirius XM. We click more here, and that provides all 3 of those, as well as our Bluetooth icon or USB, which will populate here once it's connected. From here, we'll hit the back arrow, and since we do like FM here in the building, in order to find a radio station, we simply tap tune here in the middle and start dialing in our station manually. So if we like 104.1, we simply dial it in. Now if it's one of our favorites, we'll press this little star here, or we can hit the back arrow in the upper left-hand corner. If we find that this is a channel we like, we simply hold across the top here for about 5 seconds. The icon will turn blue, and that will save it for us as a favorite. If we need to change the way that sound is coming through the system, we simply open up the sound button here. Here we're going to have our bass, mid-range, and treble. Our fade and balance will be right beneath that, so you can really adjust the way that sound comes through. From here, we're going to go back. The browse function here is going to be really helpful, especially if we're going to be using our Sirius XM, because it'll pull up what the stations are and ordered. However, it does not work inside the building here due to our ceiling. From this app, we're going to move on to the phone app. This is going to be a very easy to use app, and it will look very familiar to most people if they use their smartphones. With this, we're going to open up our phone here and we're going to get it all connected. We're first going to hit connect phone up on the big screen. We're also going to hit add phone. Now this will start a Bluetooth search all the way at the bottom here. We'll simply press the My Chevrolet, which pops up under available devices, and we'll hit pair on our cell phone. We'll also hit pair up on the big screen. Take it about 5 seconds. Now we're going to hit allowed access contacts here. Once this is paired up, we can get rid of our phone and we can simply press the pencil here on the right hand side. Here we're going to select our phone as primary to connect and deselect it as secondary phone. What this does is it allows us so that whenever we enter the vehicle, our phone will automatically connect with all its contacts and we'll be the first ones to be able to play music through the radio, regardless of who else is inside the vehicle. Any additional phones should be set up as secondary or not at all, and that will be the best experience for everyone inside the vehicle. From here, we're going to hit the back arrow twice, and this is going to bring us back to our phone screen. Here we're going to have a keypad, we're going to have recent phone calls, we're going to have contacts, and we're going to have our list of phones should there be others connected. If we want to add someone to our favorites list, we're simply going to go to recents, we'll click a star next to a name, and then that will add it to favorites. So here we're going to add Michelle, and that will add her on there, and she's ready to go. That way I can have 10 people on here that I call most often and have their contacts ready to go. From here, we're going to hit our home button and we're going to return to the main screen. Starting off with the Wi-Fi next, here you're going to have a 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot built inside the vehicle. This page here allows us to view the Wi-Fi username as well as the Wi-Fi password. Should we ever want to change the way that those look, we simply open it up and we can change it however we like. So if we'd like to name it Sonic, we simply would type it in here. All right, should update. All right, my Sonic is saved. We can do the same thing with the password should we want to in the future. You can also do this on your My Chevrolet app. From here, we're going to hit the back arrow and return to our home screen. I do want to mention that the Wi-Fi also gives you a 3 GB trial whenever you buy a vehicle that will last for 30 days, after which it shuts off on its own, and if you'd like to contact OnStar to purchase more, you simply hit the blue button in the rear view mirror here. Just to the right of the settings, we're just going to have some very basic stuff to go through. Most of our changes will be in our vehicle tabs. We're going to have comfort and convenience at the top, so if you like to change the chime volume, you absolutely can, and you can also set up auto wipe in the reverse gear. All that means is when we put the vehicle into reverse, it will automatically clean your back window so that way you can see better out of the hatch. Right below that, you're going to have remote lock and start. In here, we're going to have a really nice feature called remote start auto heated seats. What this means is whenever we remote start the vehicle and it's under 40 degrees outside, it'll automatically start our heated seats for us, so that way when we get out to it, we're not going to be freezing our rear ends off. If we press down here, you're just going to see some extra features here, so if you ever do need something changed, don't hesitate to let us know. We can absolutely change this around for you and make it the most comfortable experience for you. Across the bottom, we're also going to have a remote left in vehicle alert. All this means is if we leave our remote inside the vehicle, it will beep at us 3 times when we exit the vehicle. That just lets us know that we've left it inside and that we should probably pick it up and it did not lock fully. From here, we're going to go to the Apple CarPlay. This is going to be a really neat feature for any iPhone users. With this, we're going to take our charger cord and we're going to plug it in down here. There are 2 USB ports. From here, we're going to take it and plug it into our cell phone device. We're going to open up our cell phone, and then this will give us the option to start going through the feature here. Continue. Take about 5 seconds and we'll hit allow. All right, this is what Apple CarPlay is going to look like. Very similar to what your iPhone looks like, or if you had an iPad in the center dash, also what it would look like. Here we can press this little button, it'll take us to a little multitask screen where we can have our now playing, our home route, as well as our work route loaded up. Also here you're going to have your map system, which shows you exactly where you're at. Now if we want to go back to all of our apps, we simply press the little icon in the bottom left hand corner. This brings up everything else that we'd use. Again, this will all work just like your standard iPhone or iPad, whichever one that you use. Swipe to the right here, we're going to have all of our music apps. So starting off with the My Chevrolet app, this will just have a copy of our owner's manual and a couple other little pieces of information. Our Pandora will of course be loaded up with our account, Spotify, Waze, the WhatsApp app, and of course YouTube Music there if you pay for premium. Now the Android Auto app is a little bit different. We do have to download an extra app here on your phone. It's going to be looking just like that little guy right there. Once we've got it all hooked up, we're going to open it up here, and we're going to open it up on the big screen here. Here we're going to hit continue, more, yes I'm in, continue again. Here we're going to turn it on at the very top of the screen. This is going to ask for access to your notifications, so we're going to hit allow in order for it to work properly. Next, it's going to hook you up to your Google Assistant. It'll take it a few seconds here, and it'll display up on the big screen as soon as it's ready to go. Now this is going to be a very easy to use app. Here in the bottom left hand corner, you're going to have the little home button. This takes you home, and it's going to have all of your extra apps on here ready to go for you, from your music to weather, as well as all your navigation features and functions. This also does use an extension of Google Voice, so if you press this button right here, it'll pull up your Google Voice and you can give it a basic command like call, text, or play certain songs on the radio. From here, in order to return back to our home screen, we simply press the home button here on the left hand side, and this brings us back to our traditional Chevrolet home screen. Next to the Android Auto app, we're going to have the OnStar Services app. Now this is just going to have some very basic information about your vehicle. Here in the services screen, we're going to have the Call Advisor button, which will get us in touch with an OnStar advisor in case you need to purchase or deactivate a plan. Next to that, you're going to have your turn-by-turn directions. Now you do have to have the turn-by-turn direction plan from OnStar, but as soon as we press that button, they'll get in touch with us and we'll be able to download directions straight into the vehicle, and they'll come over the audio system telling us when and where to turn. Just to the right of that, you're going to have your Wi-Fi hotspot. Now this is going to work just the same as the app that we covered previously, so you'll just have your username and password on there, as well as a couple other small pieces of information. Returning back to the OnStar app, under the account services feature here, we're going to have some basic stuff that will tell you when your package expires, as well as the available data that's left in the vehicle. Now, OnStar does sell two different plans. They sell a 1 GB plan as well as an unlimited data plan. The prices vary month by month, but this will tell you whenever you're going to be able to find the best deals. We'll go ahead and hit our home button here. Now across the bottom here, you are going to notice you have the navigation compass. Now if we press this, this will get us in touch with OnStar, and this is how we're going to be able to view our turn-by-turn directions. Just to the right of that, you're also going to have the shortcut, so regardless of which app we're in, we're still going to be able to get to our phone quickly as well as our audio quickly. Now this feature does also have one more thing. If we go to the left here, we're going to have a multitask screen. Now this is really nice if we have our phone connected or something like this. We're going to be able to view what's on the radio as well as view our incoming cell phone calls or something else that should we want to use that. Now to pair our Android device to the Chevrolet home screen here. First we're going to open up the phone app. We're going to again press connect phone and then add phone in the upper left hand corner. Now on your cell phone device, I'm going to have you pull down from the top, and we're going to hit and hold the Bluetooth icon until it changes pages here. Here we're going to hit pair new device across the top, and it'll immediately start a search. Across the bottom here, you're going to see the My Chevrolet icon pop up. We're going to hit pair on our home screen, then pair up on the big screen. After a few seconds, it'll ask permission to connect and transfer all the contacts, data, and notifications. Alrighty, now on here we're going to be able to press this pencil again. We're going to click first to connect if you're the primary driver, and we're going to deactivate secondary to connect. Again, what this allows us to do is have our phone set as the primary, so whenever we get in the vehicle, regardless of who else is connected to the radio, our phone will automatically take control and load its contacts and play its music through the radio and the speakers. Now here we're going to hit the back arrow on the upper left hand corner, and then once more, and this will take us back to our home screen here for the phone app, and we're going to have our recent phone calls, contacts, and everything else loaded in here. From here we can go back to our home screen and continue on with the rest of the apps. Continuing down here, we're going to have our home button. Now this will take us out of any app and bring us back to our home screen here. Just to the left of that, or right of that, you're going to have the Seek button. So once we are in the audio page, if we press this, this will skip through a few radio stations to help us find the next available radio. Just to the right of that, you're going to have the phone button. Now what this does is it automatically brings up the phone icon, but should you be receiving an incoming cell phone call, you can always press this little icon here or the one on the steering wheel, and it'll answer the cell phone call for you. The button in the middle here is going to be very important. This adjusts our volume for the whole vehicle, as well as it allows us to mute the audio coming through the screen. If we also press and hold the button here for about 5 seconds, it's going to take us to a black screen. Now should you be driving really late at night and your eyes start to get tired, we recommend doing this as it will help reduce fatigue. Right below, we're going to have lock and unlock here. We're going to have our passenger airbag symbol here, which will let us know if they need to be buckled up. Right in the middle here, we're going to have our hazard lights. You're going to have your AC, your recirculating air, your heated seats on both sides. If you press the little buttons there in the middle, they'll get fired up for you. And of course, your temperature controls and air direction here on the right-hand side. Right below that, you are going to have your fan speed. So if you need to adjust this, there you go. Right in the middle, this will also be for auto defrost system. Moving underneath that, you're going to have your 2 USB ports as well as an auxiliary port there for all your connection needs, so you can play music or transfer data such as your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto up onto the main screen of the vehicle. On the shift knob itself, it's quite simple. There's a little lever in the front of the vehicle. This will allow us to select which gear we'd like to be in, as well as on the left-hand side here, you're going to have a manual selection. So if you're coming down some really big hills and you don't want to be using up all your brakes, you're going to hit the minus button here. This will downshift the vehicle and keep you from over-accelerating. Down below, you're going to have the traction control button. Now, living here in the Midwest, it's very important that we know how to use this. Should you ever get stuck in some mud or snow, or you see that there's going to be a large problem up ahead, we can hit and hold this for about 15 seconds. This will immediately turn off traction control, and after about 5 seconds or so, it'll turn off stability track. What this means is there's no computer-aided systems helping you keep traction. What this is good for is low-speed maneuvers when you're trying to get yourself out of a snow berm or through a big pile of snow or mud. Moving through this, after we hit about 30 miles an hour, we want to make sure that we turn this back on. It's very important that this comes right back on, and you'll see the little symbol pop back up here in the middle saying that it's been returned to normal. Next to the traction control button, you're going to have your standard e-brake here, very important if you're parking on a bigger hill. Towards the back here, you're going to have a standard 12-volt power outlet or cigarette outlet here. This is really nice because it proportions it between the front and the back seats, so whoever needs to use it can absolutely get their phone hooked up there. Just to the back of that, you're going to have your standard cup holder, and you're also going to have a little armrest here in case the driver needs to have a little bit more comfort. Continuing on to the ceiling here, we're going to have a nice sunroof. So if we press this button on the end, this will actually help us slide this all the way back, and we can get a lot better, cleaner flowing air through the cabin. Now if we want to return it, we simply press the button in the forward position here, and that'll bring it back forward for us. Now, if there is a lot of sun, we do recommend bringing the shade back over so that way it protects your interior from getting baked in the hot sun. Just ahead of that, you're going to have your courtesy lights on either side here. Whenever a door is open, the lights will come on automatically. Otherwise, if you press one of the buttons, it'll come on each side if all the doors are closed and you're traveling. Here's the button on the left here. Will pull up our OnStar settings. This is the same as pressing the OnStar app on the center display screen. Just to the right of that, we're going to press this button whenever we need to contact OnStar to either make an account change or to buy Wi-Fi data or a certain package. Just to the right of that is your SOS button. Now this is for non-vehicular breakdown emergencies. What that means is if you ever feel unsafe, if you're being robbed, or if you see someone else being hurt or robbed, we need to press this button here, and that will get police or firefighters out to your location to help address the situation as quickly and safely as possible. With the purchase of your new vehicle, you get a free month of OnStar. However, during the welcome call, they often offer you an extension to your trial, and we highly recommend that you try it out. It's going to be a lot of really cool and neat features, and it does take a little bit more than a month to get used to. Now, they have 3 main packages. The first one are going to be the key fob services on your My Chevrolet app. Those will allow you to lock, unlock, start, and stop your vehicle from anywhere in the nation just using your cell phone device. The second option that OnStar gives us is going to be the stolen vehicle assistance. What that means is if the vehicle ever gets stolen, you can just shoot OnStar a call. They can shut down the engine, roll up the windows and lock the doors, trapping the thief inside the vehicle and alerting the police where to find the vehicle, getting it back to you safe and sound. The last one is if you're ever in an accident. Now we live out here in Iowa, there's plenty of deer. If you ever get in an accident and the airbags deploy, OnStar will automatically call into the vehicle, making sure that you are all right and that all your passengers are okay as well. With that information, they'll also be able to find the location of your vehicle and get EMS out to you as fast as possible, making sure that you and your passengers are safe. Alrighty folks, that brings us to the end of our delivery of our 2020 Chevrolet Sonic RS. Should you have any questions, don't hesitate to let us know, and we hope that you enjoyed the video and learned a little bit more about this vehicle.